So I'm going to go ahead and make a full-on little video here about just this goofy trans mount, because I know I struggled with how to come up with an idea to make this all work. I think I finally got a solid plan down, so maybe, I don't know if this will help someone else in the future, because it's kind of an interesting little situation we got going on here. So it's probably already saw by the title. This is a T5, this is a world-class T5 out of a 93 Firebird, I want to say. Yeah, 93. Yeah, that's right. That's what I got it of. And yeah, it's got the trans mount on the housing where it's clocked on an angle. I think it's like 15 or 17 degrees. So that doesn't work, obviously, I need a flat trans mount going across the bottom here. So I've seen guys make little kind of like adapters or spacers, but I honestly haven't really liked any of them. They were all kind of not the best, we could say. So I really wanted to do a rubber mount as well. I'm not gonna do solid trans mount. So being able to make all this work with that angle piece to try to fit underneath the car has been a challenge, but I've been thinking about it the last few days, basically nonstop. And got a solid plan here, so I'm gonna show you what I got going on. This here was the, I guess, original cross member out of the car, was this piece right here. And then I made this little plate with the triangle braces on the side in hopes that it would work. It did not. I also put this plate in here. I cut out all the center stuff because it had this original like big block rubber mount. So I just kind of simplified it, cut that out, put this plate in here. This is basically what I need the shape to be. So this is the flat piece, right? Actually, we go this way. This is the flat piece right here, right? This is the angle that the trans is on. Now I was hoping I could just make like a little metal wedge, bolt it to the top of the trans, and then get away with thin rubber, I guess, mount or bushing. Turns out this is the thinnest one I could find they make. And as you can see right there, that's not gonna work. So what I need to do first off is basically drop this mount down. I think I gotta go lower than the bottom of the cross member. It kinda sucks, but it still won't be as low as the bottom of the K member, which is a good thing. So I think I'm gonna have to drop that a little bit lower, make a little metal triangle, and then sandwich this goofy mount in between it. I'll go underneath the car and show what I'm talking about. That's kind of a rough idea of what's going on. Okay, underneath the car, this is the situation. You can see that mount there is on an angle. And you can see why I had my little wedge that would just kind of go up there like this. And I was just kind of using that for mock-up to hold the trans in place. But yeah, that is definitely not gonna fit this mount right here. So like I was saying earlier, it might make a little more sense looking at underneath the car now. I'm gonna make a little plate that goes across the bottom of this, bolt that up there, then make a triangle piece on the side, triangle piece on the side. And then I'm gonna make a bottom piece to box it off, but I'm gonna put 2 nuts on that. And then these bolts right here, those will be the nuts that are welded on the inside of that plate. So then the bolts will just go up through there. Now this triangle piece isn't gonna be, it'll be removable, but those bolts that are going up into the trans case are gonna be with it. So you're just gonna kind of have to walk it out. So I'm gonna make enough gap where you can slip a ratchet wrench in there so you can take those bolts off, but there's no way you're gonna be able to get a socket in there with an extension or anything like that. There's just no way there's enough space. This whole situation is kind of screwy. It sucks because as soon as I have enough for my TKX, this won't matter, but for the time being, this will do. One thing else I wanted to mention, these holes on the casing here are 10 by 1.5 in case anyone needs to know that info. Okay, so this is what I got going on so far. I went ahead and cut that bracket off the side of the cross member there, grinded that all down. That took a lot longer than I was hoping, but now that that's done, I started moving on to the actual mount piece here. So this is the piece that's gonna bolt up on the angle to the trans. I went ahead and measured that out, got my holes there. These are the bolts I'm gonna have go through it. And this mount is obviously gonna be below it. So these things, can't really do this one-handed, but this is gonna sit in there kind of like so. So you can see there's not gonna be a whole lot of space between that bolt head and that nut. But once I take this bottom bolt out that goes through the mount, that should leave me enough space to at least be able to start this and then kind of walk both sides down, because I don't want to make the gap, you know, that big. That'd be ridiculous. So if I can do something like that, I'd be happy with that. And I'm thinking to myself, I was gonna have to do a plate on top of this, you know, to weld my side pieces to for this, but I'm like, why don't I just use this? Because the instructions for the mount say you have to put this, well, I'm sure it's not this piece exactly, but put at least a piece, you know, over the top of this to have that little gap. Why? I'm not totally sure, but that's what the instructions said. So I'm gonna go ahead and follow that. I'm sure there's some reason for it that I don't really know about. Underneath the car here, mocking up with the trans, this is what it looks like. See that plate's bolted up there to the top. Got my mount here, and then I just went ahead and made a little template of the triangle piece that's gonna have to go in there. It's gonna look goofy. It's gonna look goofy for sure, but I think that'll work. And I'm trying to get that side over here as close as I can so it's up as high as I want, because this block here is probably like an inch down. I mean, just looking at everything else, it's gonna be about as low as the bell housing. And the lowest point on this car so far is maybe the back of the bell housing, if not the front of the oil pan, but like the difference is so minimal between the two, I might as well just call them even. So this is gonna be pretty close too, but I think it'll work. Before I call it a night here, I'm just gonna show you guys what's going on. So you can see I got those two pieces just tacked on that plate here. We got the nuts welded to this plate right here, and then this guy will just sit up in there like so. And then once that bolt is out on the right side there, I'll be able to slip a wrench up in there and get that out. And then this side, as you can see, I got plenty of space. It's a lot taller than I was originally expecting, a lot taller than I kind of want it to be, but I can't go any shorter. I mean, you guys see how close it is. That's kind of ridiculous. So I think I'm gonna actually go ahead and box in the sides here, because I don't see why not there. I'll do that and make it a little bit stronger. I'll go ahead, weld this plate on there first thing in the morning after I box the sides in, and then I can move on to making the cross member for this. So this is what the finished little adapter and trans mount is gonna look like without the cross member. Went ahead and boxed those triangle pieces in on the side there. So I made a little piece right here, and then one on the other side, and then I actually shortened it. Last night I was thinking about it, and I had nuts welded on this plate, but then I realized I would only be able to get this bolt down so far. This side doesn't matter because I got plenty of space on this side, but then for this side here, like I was saying, I'll only be able to get it down so far. So I went ahead, cut those off, got some new ones, and they're not welded on there. That way, when I drop these bolts out, the nut will just slide out the side, and that way I can drop this bolt down enough. And that is how I got it on there. So now that that is all done and wrapped up, I'm happy with that. I can move on to start making this work with the cross member. So for the cross member here, I started off making this little 90 tab that's gonna come off the bottom here, and then that'll bolt up into the rubber mount there, and that's what the front of the little triangle wedge adapter piece, whatever you want to call it, looks like. So now that that is done and I'm happy with that, I'm gonna go ahead and make a triangle bracket. I'm thinking, let's see if I can get the light to stay there. I'm thinking one from here to like up this point right here, so we'll have a bracket like that. And then I'm gonna make another one going like back right there, but I'm gonna try to make it all one piece, so it'll be a piece kind of that shape. I don't even know what you'd call that shape, but that's what the front looks like. And then for the back, that's what it looks like on the back. So hopefully that'll be strong enough. As you can see, the trans is free floating by itself. First time that's ever happened, so that's pretty sweet. And this is what it looks like out on the bench here, maybe for a little better representation where I'm not crammed underneath the car. But yeah, kind of the whole, I don't even know, freaking mess of a trans mount, but it works. And that allows me to have a 5-speed in this car, so I will take it. There you go, there's kind of a full walk around view. Pretty pumped with it. Next step is, oh wait, I already said that. I was gonna say paint it and whatnot, but I already said that in this video, so I'm not gonna repeat myself. One other thing I wanted to show you guys was that I was checking this when I was making the mount. We do have, oh, it's settling now, but we do have 3 degrees of angle on the engine, which is perfect, so I'm happy with that. Other than that, I don't know, it's kind of a quick little video of basically a not so exciting project, but hey, it's exciting to me, and maybe, I don't know, it'll help someone or give someone an idea of what to do, because I've only seen a few videos on tossing these transmissions in cars, and I don't know, it's kind of a complicated thing to figure out and do and whatnot, but I figured if I try to give a detailed, like thorough explanation, maybe somebody will get something out of it and it'll help them out. I don't know.